When Muslims tell you that they're here to take over, it's not hyperbole, it's not a joke, it's not a skit, it's nothing what the left will tell you. They're serious about this. Have a listen.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today we're at Alta Bali Park. We're here to interview some people. So I've asked some questions, brother.
Yeah.
All right. What message do you want to give to the far right people?
The message I want to give to the far right people is we're here to take over your country. You can't stop us. You can try, but we're here to uphold Sharia law. And yeah, that's it.
He means it. It's not a joke. Listen to this clown.
Okay, you know the other argument is, but okay, so if you don't like it here, go to your own country.
But why would we do that when our forefathers were instrumental in rebuilding this country after World War II? It was our grandfathers who worked in the factories 20 hours. It was our grandfathers who came here and run the infrastructure. It was our grandfathers who bought you the lovely curry, which is your national dish. So how can you tell us to go? We're not going nowhere. We are here to stay. Like I say, we're not here to take part. We're here to take over.
They're happy, yeah? So when they say that, don't think that is hyperbole or they're just joking. They genuinely believe in that because they have seen generations of spineless politicians in the UK, and we're repeating the same thing here as well. Slightly different. We still have some time and room to avoid that fate, but it is happening in Australia. That's the purpose of this video. Okay, so as you guys know, Anthony Albanese, who's the worst prime minister in Australia's history at the worst possible time, which is our bad luck, and we've got 2 more years to endure him, and in the meantime I guarantee you he's going to destroy Australia. Okay, if you think things are bad, they're going to get much worse. One of those methods which he has adopted to destroy Australia is flooding our country with radical extremists. So after years of lying that he's not facilitating the return of ISIS brides, which are ISIS terrorists. As you guys know, a couple of weeks ago, 4 ISIS terrorists came to Australia along with their children. Now, another dozen have come. Most of them haven't even been charged. And look at this one. I'll let Mark Levy explain the situation better than I can. Have a listen to him. He's a radio host.
I told you I wasn't going to pussyfoot around this issue anymore. Well, I'd say this to the Prime Minister. Australians have had an absolute gutful of their safety being treated as a secondary priority to political correctness. What we saw last night at Sydney and Melbourne airports wasn't just a failure of our national security. It was an absolute joke. I'm appalled. I'm furious. And to be honest, it makes me feel sick. Not a single one of the ISIS-linked women was arrested last night. Not one. 7 arrived home, and what? None of them broke the law?
Since then, 1 of them has been arrested. And I have a video for you. Just have a look. If you think that these people have changed, maybe, at least Shamima Begum took off her burqa, and she's saying, hey, look, I'm becoming more and more westernized, so please let me in, which is a scam. At least it's something Britain has shown more spine than Australia. We're literally bringing in these jihadis who still look like jihadis, and they haven't changed one bit. The only reason they've come back to Australia is because life in a Syrian refugee camp became unbearable for them. So they decided to come back to the country, to the very country they hate so much. I've got more.
Really? I'm gobsmacked. These terror supporters were effectively ushered through a back door. They didn't walk through the international arrivals terminal. No, they were treated like royalty or a global celebrity. Well, I'm demanding to know why they were given special treatment. If every other traveller is forced to make their way through immigration, customs, and then into the arrivals hall, why were these terror sympathisers ushered away from the public? And why weren't they arrested like the 3 women who are now facing serious charges, including crimes against humanity? Where's the accountability? Where are the consequences for joining a death cult? This is so wrong. And you know who's responsible? Well, I'm pointing the finger this morning at the Prime Minister of this country, Anthony Albanese.
The worst Prime Minister. That should be the subtitle of Anthony Albanese. The worst Prime Minister in Australia's history. But don't think that he's going to be the last worst Prime Minister or he's going to hold on to this record for a while. No, he won't. Because if we have another Labour government or if we have another lefty government, the next Prime Minister is going to be worse. There is no course correction other than the pendulum to swing in the opposite direction, i.e. to the right. There's no other solution.
And our Home Affairs Minister, Tony Burke. Now, the federal government insists these people will be monitored. But monitored by who? Our intelligence agencies are already stretched to the absolute limit. It'll take dozens of full-time ASIO and federal police officers to monitor just one high-risk individual.
And they can't do it. They just don't have the resources. The guy, Naveed Akram, was on the watch list. what happened? How many times we have seen, even in Britain, oh, he was known to the authorities. He was known to MI6 or Prevent or whatever. But what do you mean by a watch list? It's not like in the movies where an unmarked van is parked outside the house and they're constantly watching. It doesn't work that way. It's not like that. All they have is like, okay, they have a database, they put their name down, and that's it. They forget about it because we just don't have the resources to monitor every single one of them. Again, it would have been manageable, as they used to show that in the 90s in the movies, Hollywood movies. It was manageable when you had a very small number of Muslims in your country. This is why we keep telling you, the more Muslims you have, the more terrorist attacks you're going to have, the more radicals you're going to have. It's just simple math. Math doesn't lie. If you have 1 million Muslims and only 1% of them are extremists, say goodbye to all your resources. That's it. You're done.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So who's footing the bill for this? Oh, that's right, you are.
You.
Not to mention the accommodation for these terrorist sympathisers.
Terrorist simps is the proper word.
Guess where these women and children are staying in Sydney? They've been put up at a hotel. The Home Affairs Minister assures us the community is safe.
This guy's, if he succeeds, Anthony Albanese, let me say that just a side note. I hate him more than Anthony Albanese. This guy is an absolute see you next Tuesday. I'm saying that in an Aussie style.
But is Tony Burke prepared to stand there today, look the Australian people in the eye and guarantee that radicalisation won't just get imported straight into our suburbs?
He can actually. He tells lies, looking straight at you in your eyes. He looks at you and he lies. He just lies. I've played so many of his videos. I hate him. Apply your hate speech laws on me because I am saying that on camera. I hate this government. I hate Anthony Albanese, and I hate Tony Burke even more.
I told you I wasn't going to pussyfoot around this issue anymore. Well, I'd say this to the Prime Minister. Australians have had an absolute gutful of their safety being treated as a secondary priority to political correctness. We are sick of watching a Labor government that is tough on law-abiding citizens but as weak as water on our national security.
Weak as water. We have a different saying, but it had to be radio friendly. Okay, so look at this. One of the relatives of one of the ISIS terrorists has given a statement. So sorry, he's a brother of a returned ISIS bride in Australia. Listen to him. Yeah, listen to him. Look at the cheek on him.
These guys are Australian citizens. Their kids are Australian citizens. You want to hate on it. You don't like the law. If you're saying for them to leave, if you don't like the law in Australia, then you must leave, because we're accepting the law. If you aren't accepting the law in Australia, then thank you very much. Please leave.
So he's telling Anglo-Australians or Australians who are non-Muslims who got nothing to, because Australian society has got nothing to do with Sharia. Yeah, indigenously, we have no historical or cultural links to Islam or Islamism or Sharia. So it's only natural for Australians, for the mainstream Australian society, to be repulsed by Sharia. It's only natural. But he's telling the vast majority of Australians, if you are unhappy with these people coming into Australia, then you go. This is why I played you those videos before. So yeah, these people are nuts. So no, my dear Muslim brother, we have a better solution. We're going to change the laws of this country because we still have numbers on our side. We just have to awaken these people, and we need to do more activism. We need to show the ugly face of your religion and your ideology a bit more rigorously, vigorously, aggressively to the masses of Australia, and drift the Australian society towards the right of the political spectrum. That's all we need to do. That's what's going to happen. This is why. So now he's talking about, like, oh, we respect the law. This is how they respect the law. Listen to this. So when one of these ISIS brides they landed in Australia, have a listen. Have a look.
Don't touch.
So this radical, aggressive Muslim just attacked a journalist who was just doing his job. Again, these people have different cultural values. Did you hear the previous guy? Oh, we respect the law. No, they don't. They don't respect the law. They hate the law. Yes, it's convenient for him to say, hey, you know what, as if they have a choice. They obviously made a decision that, okay, if we go to Australia, we're going to have to go through all these legal hoops. So Aisha, whatever her name is, come to Australia because it's better than rotting away in a refugee camp in Syria. So that's why. So it's only convenient for them. They don't respect the law at all. They don't love Australia. They hate Australia. They hate everything about Australia. The only reason they haven't left Australia is because Australia is a welfare state. Most of these people don't even work. And Centrelink. God bless Centrelink for them.
I'm here at Melbourne Airport and we were awaiting the return of 2 so-called ISIS brides and their children. I'm standing here in front of this door because as the media were waiting inside the airport, they've been snuck out by what we think might be airport security through this side.
So that's him. They respect the law, okay? They don't. They hate the law. They hate Australia. And that's not an isolated incident. Remember when the first lot of these so-called ISIS brides came to Australia? Look at this guy. They hate women. They hate women.
Get on my way. Get on my way.
Look at this jihadi looking clown. Oh my God, let's bring the aesthetics down.
Get on my way.
Why did you marry an ISIS terrorist?
See? Listen to his face. Listen to it. Look at his face.
Why have your children been radicalized?
Shut up, you slut. And who's enabling this? Anthony Albanese, the worst prime minister in Australia's history. So, contrary to what Mark Levy said, since then, one of these ISIS terrorists have been arrested. But look at her. Look at the way she looks. Do you think she's reformed? Or they haven't even reformed. This is why I said, at least Shamima Begum is pretending to have reformed, and she's trying to show her. She has dished the niqab. Look at this one. Oh my goodness. This is ISIS. She's still ISIS. This drum is still ISIS. What are we doing? Why do we have to do this? They found a loophole. They have found a way to exploit the Australian law. That's why they're doing what they're doing. And you and we collectively, we're enabling this. You know, we are a democracy, so we can't wipe our hands clean and say, hey, you know what, I tried, we got nothing. Collectively, we are Australia. We are a democracy. This is happening on our watch. It's not going to go away. We are bringing in these barbarians from barbaric cultures who hate Australia. Centrelink is going to be paying her children or paying her family. We are raising an entire generation of people who hate us, who hate Australia, who hate Western civilization, who hate the West. They will always see Australia as America's stooge, America that bombs their Muslim countries. And I played you the video of that idiot from England who was like, oh, well, we built this country. No, you didn't. Pakistanis or Muslims made up less than 1% of the UK's population in the 50s when these people came. But they rebuilt the UK. No, they didn't. But they have to invent these stories to justify their presence. And as I said, they're only taking advantage of your politeness because, you know, most Australians are polite people. Most Brits are polite, but no more. That's why people are adopting a harsher and harsher narrative towards immigration. And that's going to happen. It's going to happen. I hope it doesn't take a decade. I hope it doesn't take 10 years for Australia, because if we take 10 years to change the trajectory of this country, then things are going to get a lot worse. A lot of people are going to get hurt. A lot of people are going to be intimidated, provoked unnecessarily. Muslims are going to do their things, terrorist attacks, anti-Semitism. They're going to annoy you by blocking the streets. They're going to convert churches into mosques. Oh, I should have mentioned that in one of my predictions. You're going to see a lot more arson against churches. You're going to see, this is my prediction number 11. You're going to see churches random churches catching fire. You're going to see that. Wherever Muslim population grows, for some reason, religious or places of worship of other religions somehow start burning up. It's happening in Japan now. It happened in Canada. It happened in the UK and France. It hasn't happened in Australia yet, but it's going to happen anyway. So it's just horrible. We need to wake up, guys. Wake up.